Hi, I'm Cookie, and I'm going to give a detailed tutorial on how to decorate cookies using rolled buttercream. For the purposes of this video, I'll be using an Elmo cookie design that I created for a party package recently. You color your rolled buttercream in the same manner in which you would color fondant. So you add the gel food coloring to the rolled buttercream and you knead it in, continuing to add a color little by little until you reach the desired shade. One tip I will give when you're working with darker colors, I recommend that you dye both the buttercream, sorry, a couple of days in advance so that um, you give the color enough time to saturate and reach the desired hue. I am rolling my buttercream between two pieces of wax paper. You can also use parchment paper, but I feel like there's a smoother, more cleaner finish using wax paper over parchment paper. And I like for my thickness to be about an eighth of an inch thick. Once I'm at my desired thickness, I then smooth with a fondant smoother to make sure there are no creases, lines, or anything like that because you want a smooth finish. At this point, you would grab your cookie cutter or stencil and simply cut out the design. Here, I am using a stencil that I created using my Cricut. I did it this way simply because I don't do a lot of cookies and I didn't want to pass on the cost of cookie cutters to my client for something that I could have very well done by hand. It's a little more time consuming to cut the cookie and also the buttercream by hand doing it this way, but I think in the long run it didn't hurt me any to do it this way, so I did. But by all means, you would do this same process with a cookie cutter. Again, you just would press it down, cut it out the same way you cut out the cookie. You then remove all of the excess rolled buttercream from around your stencil, I'm sorry, the shape you've cut out with your stencil. And what I do, I clean it off really well, and then I place my wax paper, my cutouts on the wax paper into the freezer for about 5 to 7 minutes. Typically, in the time it takes me to roll out my next color and get those shapes cut, I am now going to remove that from the freezer and start that application process. Here you see me working on Elmo's smile with the black buttercream that is typical to this style of cookie, or to the character, that is. Now I'm moving on to the base of the eyes and nose, cutting that out as well. And each time after I have cut out that shape, I am going to remove the excess buttercream. I typically reuse my buttercream for the entire batch. Of course, if it's white, I wrap mine tightly, or any color, honestly. I wrap it tightly in plastic wrap and then store it in a freezer bag. And I put it in my freezer and I've reused them up to 6 months. As long as they're package safe, there's no distorted taste or anything like that. It's still really easy and simple to work with. Also, I forgot to mention, I use Pam Kennedy's rolled buttercream recipe. I will tag her video down below. It is super easy to follow. Um, it comes together literally, it's the simplest thing. You put all of the ingredients into the mixer and you let it mix until it all pulls away from the sides of the bowl into a big ball, and you have your rolled buttercream. For application, I use about, I'll say maybe a half a tablespoon or so of corn syrup and about a teaspoon of water. I like to mix it. Some bakers just simply use water. I like to, or corn syrup, sorry. Singularly, I like to mix the two, but you're welcome to, do whatever you think is best for your design. You would use a a brush to apply to the cookie, and you apply a thin layer, and you simply lay the rolled buttercream on top of the cookie, and just give it a very even rub with your gloved hand, just to make sure that the buttercream is stuck properly, and to help to smooth out the edges onto the cookie. As you can see there, my stenciled buttercream broke. The cutout broke, but with one good thing with the buttercream, you can literally smooth out the little crack and you won't see it. There'll be a close up of the cookie later, and you will see that you do not see that little crack. However, I added a little something extra to these cookies, so you won't see it anyway, and you'll see that more as the video continues. I broke this one as well. I think I was moving a little bit too fast. I don't know. And now I am applying this one as well. Next, we'll move into putting in the little smiley mouth piece. And I'm super proud of these stencils. They worked really well. I don't know. My Cricut is super handy, and I was so glad that I was able to use that for this process. Everything worked together like a puzzle. It was a great thing to work with. I highly recommend using your Cricut to make stencils like this. And again, it cuts down on cost. It does add, I'll say, maybe 5 or 10 minutes more into each step of the process, the decorating process and the cookie process. But I think it's worth it. And then you don't have to worry about storing the cookie cutter. I have so many cookie cutters that I've purchased over the years that I've only used one time. So yeah, doubtful that I'll be buying any more cookie cutters unless it's something super, super intricate, then I may. And here I am applying the eyes and nose base, and then you're going to see me putting the eyes down. And also, I don't know if I captured the nose, putting the nose on or not. We'll see here coming up. But it's super simple. It's just like when we were in school making a puzzle, putting together a puzzle. That is all you do. You're just putting a puzzle together. So let's see. Oh, yeah, I am doing the nose. So you can see me doing the nose there. Super simple. And again, I just put a little dot or so of the couple of swipes with the brush of my combination of um, corn syrup and water. And here you have it. Elmo is all done. But like I said, he looked a little plain to me. So I took it a little step further. Yeah, I thought it was a little plain. So I decided to get my grass tip and pipe on the fur that is normal for Elmo. My piping bag is kind of in the way, but you'll see I'm piping it on. And all I did, I added water to the rolled buttercream that I had left over. I just added water to it to get it to a more of a softer consistency so that I could pipe with it. The color looks slightly off, but that's because it's a little wet. But once it dries, you will see that it's still the exact same color, and it matched together super well, and the cookies all came out super cute. And there it is, the finished cookie. There's Elmo looking cute and fuzzy. I use that same process on all three cookies. Here I am working on, I think this is the last cookie in the set. And then I include a photo of all three of them all together with the fur or the buttercream.